AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
What's going on here?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Got a hanging Chad.
Hump day.
Dangling wire.
It's hump day.
Call that a dongle?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I think I fixed it.
Hump day.
Or broke it.
It's hump day.
It's different than it was.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I think it's better.
Hump day.
LSU lost to McNeese.
It's hump day.
Cancel the season!
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Stay!
Hump day.
Go!
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Poop out!
Hump day.
Josh Edwards in 15 minutes.
It's hump day.
He'll talk about the combine.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Dari Noka next hour.
Hump day.
Mikey Matuk in hour 3.
It's hump day.
LSU's going to play a basketball game tonight.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I didn't know they still have a team.
Hump day.
All right, let's go. Here we go. A lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I guess it was bound to happen. LSU loses to McNeese 7-6, snaps their 16-game win streak that dated all the way back to the regional last year when they beat Little Rock. So Little Rock then swept their way through the Supers Omaha and then 8-0 to start this season. Tigers fall to McNeese 7-6. Disappointing. We talk about it every year when they inevitably lose a midweek game, and I'm not sitting here trying to do the whole does it matter, whatever. I think we all understand losing this game doesn't preclude you from winning anything or any of your goals. That's always been the point. And this happens every year. Northwestern State came to the box and run-ruled LSU a year ago. Whatever. They won the national championship. It just doesn't matter. I think the most important part is when you go play the midweek games, it's more what you learn about the team, be it in a win or a loss, and what are your takeaways? Getting guys mound time, getting guys ABs, getting guys time out in the field. Jay Johnson afterwards talked about losing. He's number 7, Muse, and sort of where you're trying to find this silver lining.
I think they need to know, I hate to say it, but losing is part of this. Just because we haven't lost a lot here in a while, it is part of this thing. That's why the winning feels good. So detach from that, focus on how we could have played a little bit better. How can we learn from it, use it for improvement? And that was really the message.
Couple things. it would be hard to start anywhere other than with the pitching because the pitching really let you down. You walked 6, you hit 5, so you gave them 11 base runners. And it wasn't just that you gave them 11 base runners. When you look at their 2 innings, they only scored in two of the 9 innings, the second and the fourth. They put up crooked numbers, and they put up crooked numbers because you were giving them bases. I mean, you look at Marcos Paz in the second inning. You got a strikeout to start the inning, then went single ground out. So 2 outs. 2 outs. Man on 2 outs. And he goes walk, hit by pitch, bases loaded walk, and his day was over. Just, you got to be able to throw the ball over the plate. Cooper Williams comes in, hits a guy with the bases loaded, gives up a 2 RBI single with the bases loaded, and just like that, you're down 4-0. So, the harder thing to accept with all that is the self-inflicted wound. Sometimes guys go up there, they put a good swing on a pitch, you miss your spot, you can live with that. What you can't live with is like walking dudes and hitting dudes with the bases loaded. And then the same thing happened in the 4th inning. You open up the inning with a hit by pitch, and they end up getting an RBI, walk, ground out, hit by pitch, RBI fly, sac fly, RBI single. But again, you're talking about walks and hit by pitch, hit batsman, which puts you in a bind. So those crooked numbers are what did it to you. And Jay says it often. Look, when he goes out there, like you're going to give up runs. What you want to do is prevent the run-scoring innings from becoming crooked numbers. How do you limit the damage? And they just weren't able to do that in this game. I'll tell you one thing I did like was I like the fact that LSU fought back. I remember they got up 2-0 when beautiful swing, man. I mean, you had a 2-out, 2 RBI, 2-run homer by York in the first, puts up 2-0. But you get down 7-2, and then in the 5th, you battle back, push a couple across, and you need to go throw. If you're going to come back, I mean, the only way you can come back is if you throw up zeros. I mean, you got to give your offense an opportunity to rally. And in this game, the pitching started to do that. Probably no inning bigger than in the 6th when Garcia came in with 2 on and scoring position and went strikeout. So that was a spot where you had gotten within 7-4. You put up a 2 spot, go back out there. It looks like they're about to add on to their lead again. And Garcia comes in and slams the door, which I thought was a really great moment to see. So, and there were some things you like. Devin Sheeran was awesome. He faced the minimum over an inning and 2/3. So far in the season, he's gone 5 innings, has not allowed a run or a hit. He struck out 10 and walked 2. He's been awesome. I mean, you just see the guy now that is becoming your high-leverage bullpen arm. We mentioned York's homer. How about Pearson, his homer in the 8th? I mean, you're talking about where you were trying to get offense to get back into the game, and Pearson came up with a big swing, which was awesome. So, if you're Jay Johnson, Nate Yeske, you're looking at your team going, who are guys that we feel like we can count on some of the situations? John Pearson's not going to be an everyday contributor in this lineup. At least it certainly doesn't seem like it now. But maybe that's a guy in a situation like that coming off the bench who's the first bat you go to off the bench, perhaps. So those are the types of things you look for. Afterwards, Jay also talked about a couple of injuries. The really disappointing, the scary one, is Cade Arambidi, who left the game, and Jay didn't have much to offer.
You guys went to Omar there in the 5th inning. Anything going on with Cade there?
He hurt his foot. He said he couldn't play anymore, and I don't know anything else other than that.
Jay is as coy as they come as far as coaches when it comes to talking about injuries. Remember last year when he was talking about Gavin Guidry? I think at one point he was like, yeah, it's above the knee and it's below the neck. It's kind of like in the mid-region. I mean, he's just it's a back injury that cost the guy his season, and he's just very nondescript about it. Jay's just not going to give you a line. It doesn't make him an outlier. A lot of coaches are like that. They don't like talking about injuries. So I have no idea how to assess the severity. What I do know is Cade Arambidi is critical to this team. He's your best catcher by a mile. He's had a fantastic start to the season. After him, I mean, you have a freshman in Cerna, and you've got Yaman, who hasn't really played now in 2 years. So if what you have to do is just sit Arambidi for the next 2 weeks to get him ready for conference play, that's what you do, and then you get Cerna a bunch of reps. But we'll see how that continues to develop. And then he was also asked for an update on Chris Stanfield.
He's like a couple days ago. I don't remember the last time I spoke on it, but the swelling's gone down a lot. Now it's a matter of getting some strength back in his hand. So still a little sore to swing, but we are moving in that direction. So I feel much better than I did a week ago. I don't know if that means he'll be available to play this weekend or not. I certainly hope so.
I mean, he's missed the last 7 games. He got hurt on the Saturday of the season opening weekend. And so, the thing I'll remind you is it's great that you're getting you started Simpson last night. Simpson and Reeves are getting valuable reps in the outfield and ABs, but you're going to be better when you have Stanfield back. I mean, he's a proven SEC outfielder, and he led your team in hitting in conference play a year ago. So as good as this team has been, they'll be even better when they get Stanfield back. So 4-game weekend ahead for the Tigers. They'll take a couple days here and then get ready to play Northeastern and Dartmouth in a round robin. So 2 games against each, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tigers can get back in on the winning track this weekend with those 2 teams coming in. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We'll knock out a quick break. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. If you're going to be at the PMAC, if you're going to be out at the box, make sure you grab plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, your baseball national champions. I'll keep reminding you, if you haven't grabbed them yet, make sure you go grab a case of the commemorative aluminum bottles, the 16-ounce aluminum bottles with the national championship logo. Buy a bunch of them to stick in your fridge and drink, and buy a case if you want to keep it for posterity as a souvenir or way to commemorate this national championship. Jay Johnson and the boys, the 8th in program history. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of your national champion LSU baseball Tigers. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Combine going on in Indy. Josh Edwards from CBS will join us next to talk about it. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Great day yesterday over at the Garage. That's Gordon's podcast studio. Did the show over there. Beautiful space, as we talked about. Another way that Gordon gives back to the community. He paid for, built out that beautiful studio that he just lets people reserve and use as they want. He'll provide the production for it. Anybody wants to use that studio can. You want to do a podcast, YouTube show, whatever. Gordon's loaned that to anybody. Why? It's just a way to give back to the community, as he says. That's given him so much. So, of course, you go to garagestudio.com, garagestudio.com. There's the garage. There's court to table. Awesome spot in Baton Rouge. Pickleball courts, great restaurant, place to go watch games, play games. Another way Gordon just continues to give back and invest in this community that's given him so much. And as we always say, if you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Combine's going on in Indy. Josh Edwards, CBS, good enough to join us for a couple minutes. At Edwards CBS, give him a follow. Yo, man, how are you?
Doing well, yeah. It's been exciting so far. We finally got the players taking the stage to answer some questions. So it's just going to be tomorrow, I guess, is when we'll get the on-field drills.
Yeah. Anybody or any storyline in particular you're most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to the wide receivers. I think it's a really deep group. I think there's going to be a lot of guys that run really fast in this year's group. And to my surprise, there's actually some top prospects that are planning to participate. It was learned today that Vel Reese, as he is chosen to go by out of Ohio State, the edge rusher and linebacker, is going to partake in on-field drills. And the same is true of Texas Tech David Bailey. So it's going to be more exciting than I anticipated when the week began.
Josh, real quick, if you have us on speaker, can you pick up the handset if you don't mind? See, that's better.
All right.
There we go. Dude, a million times better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, you were talking about the receivers. So that's a huge talking point here because the Saints are very likely going to be in that mix. And I want to talk about what you mocked to the Saints in a bit, but maybe walk me through going into the combine, what you're thinking about the top guys and how they maybe shake out with really that sort of consensus top 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's going to be, that alpha X-type number 1 wide receiver to come out of this draft class. I think a player like Ohio State's Carnell Tate is somebody that you have a clear idea of what he's going to bring to the field. He's somebody that can play above the rim. He actually operates pretty well in space relative to his size at 6'3". Jordan Tyson, I think, is probably the most well-rounded player. He's somebody that can play inside. He can play outside. So that gives teams a little bit of versatility there with his skill set. Mekhi Lemon, a little bit more of a slot-dominant receiver who can make plays with the ball in his hands. And then Denzel Boston, again, he's a bigger guy that uses his body well down the field and can also go up and get the football. So those are my top 4 at this position, and then it opens up a little bit to several other guys. But I think really any team that has a specific need at the position is going to be able to find a player to their liking in this year's draft class.
Hey, one quick follow-up. Do the injury issues with Jordan Tyson give you any pause in the top 10 if the Saints are looking there?
Oh, I mean, it definitely gives you pause, but, that's another one of the benefits of the Combine this week is because you're able to put him through those medical evaluations to get a better idea of, if this is going to be a problem that lingers throughout his professional career. So as much as we talk about the on-field drills, there's equal importance in the medical evaluations and other aspects of the Combine that happened this week. So, yeah, that's going to be incredibly important. I think Tyson is one of the ones that stands to gain the most or, potentially lose some ground depending upon how those evaluations go this week.
Okay, you were the first that I saw anyway, Josh, to mock at 8 Sonny Styles to New Orleans. I've subsequently seen that from some, but I think you were the first I saw do it. Okay, walk me through your thought process there.
So first and foremost, Demario Davis, of course, being a free agent, possibly moving on, there's an opportunity there for immediate playing time. Sonny Styles, he's not a premium position. I understand that. It's kind of unorthodox to take a linebacker or a safety in the case of Caleb Downs in the top 10. But I think in this year's draft class, we're kind of missing those premium blue chip type talents at those blue chip positions. The teams or the positions where teams want to build out their rosters along the offensive and the defensive lines. David Bailey is going to be in that conversation, but he's not like a Myles Garrett or somebody that's going to really change the tone of your defense. So for me, if you're a team that really wants to find a player that can contribute immediately and you feel really good about as opposed to potentially taking a little bit of a shot in the dark, I think Sonny Styles is somebody that you kind of know what you're getting. He's an incredibly athletic player. He is physical. He's going to set the tone for your defense. He plays sideline to sideline. Like, he's everything that you look for in a modern NFL linebacker. And with a need at the position, that's an opportunity for the Saints to get a really good player and then potentially still get, a wide receiver or two that can contribute on day 2.
If they don't go, so this is the connect the dots that I love to play. So if they don't go receiver at 8 and they're looking in round 2 or 3, what type of value are we thinking could be there for New Orleans at the top of round 2 or 3?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how that's going to play out. I think because of the depth at the wide receiver position in this class, there's an opportunity for a guy to slip. Maybe the same conversations that we're having now are playing out in NFL rooms across the country where you feel better about getting a different position than coming back around and getting one of those wide receivers because of how confident you feel in the depth at that position. So if you're able to get a Denzel Boston, if he were to somehow slip within range to move up and go get him, I think that would be a good compliment to a Chris Olave. You've got Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. You've got Jeremy Bernard from Alabama, who I really like. There's Omar Cooper from Indiana, if he were to somehow still be there as well. There's just a wealth of options in this class. And, there's a couple of LSU Tigers that I think are going to run really fast this week in Indianapolis as well. So it's a matter of what you're looking for out of the position. And I think there's a lot of great options to be found, not only at the top of the second round, but possibly into the third round and fourth round.
Josh Edwards is with us at Edwards CBS. Give him a follow. So you mentioned a couple of the LSU guys. I mean, there's a boatload. There's 11 of them there, but with the receivers,
right.
I'm guessing you're talking about Barrion Brown and Chris Hilton that are going to light up the clock. What do you think are the ceilings, Josh? Let's say it goes perfectly for those guys in Indy this week. They run a fast time, medical checks out, they ace the interviews. What do you think of the ceiling for those guys?
Well, I think just the way they've been deployed throughout their collegiate careers, and Barrion is interesting because I've tracked him all the way back to his high school career. He's somebody that ran track. He's incredibly talented, somebody that SEC teams were tracking all the way back to his high school days. So both of those guys are electric with the ball in their hands. I think Barrion showed a little bit more in terms of his pass catching ability, maybe his route running ability there at the Senior Bowl, to suggest that maybe there's a larger role or workload for him there. So I think he's probably the one that teams would be a little bit more excited about, but he's also been more inconsistent throughout his career. So when you look at Chris Hilton, just the speed that he brings, what he can do with the ball in his hands, I do wonder if at some point a team looks at him and says, we just kind of know what we're getting from that player, and we have a clear vision for him. If we can just get him the football, he's somebody that can take it the distance for us.
A couple more for you here. As we flip it back to this week in Indy, I'm always fascinated by obviously the quarterbacks and the decisions they make if they're gonna participate or not. Just give me the 10,000-foot view, or if there is a prospect that you feel like you want to maybe hone in on this week. What are you thinking about the quarterbacks?
It's an interesting group. Obviously, Indiana's Fernando Mendoza at the top has kind of set himself apart in that regard, but there's a lot of conversations beyond that. And, Ty Simpson is somebody that I think was inconsistent throughout his Alabama career simply because he only has 1 year of essential playing experience. By all accounts, he's incredibly intelligent. He's somebody that's going to excel on the whiteboard when you get him up there. We've seen spurts of good accuracy from him, but when you're talking about 1 year of starting experience and not all of that season being totally flawless, there was a portion of the season where he was kind of up and down, and to not have a larger body of work, there's just so many questions, I think, with him in this process, but he's somebody the NFL teams are excited about. He's somebody that could go in the Tyler Shuck range, potentially up to the Jackson Dart range, or even higher if the team is desperate enough. So I think he's the one that carries the highest ceiling beyond Mendoza at this point in this year's draft. And I think if he comes out and he throws this week, which I can't remember if he's going to or not at this point, but if he can show his accuracy on this stage, I think it kind of starts to change the narrative a little bit in his favor over the next couple of months.
What about Garrett Nussmeier?
I love Garrett Nussmeier. This season played out unfortunately for him. I think he was dealing with some injuries, and I think you saw that play out on the field. But similar to Simpson, he's highly intelligent. He's a coach's son. He kind of knows what defenses are trying to do against him. Just a little bit more limited, I think. But if you're talking about an NFL team and just being confident in his ability to step in either in a single game situation or potentially being a low-level starter, I think he's somebody that I would absolutely take a chance on, as opposed to some of these other players that, maybe are taller or have a little bit more athleticism, but they just simply have not shown the ability to process and play the position at a high level. So for me, Simpson and Garrett Nussmeier have kind of separated themselves in that tier 2 for the quarterback position. And I think the accuracy really stands out when you're talking about Nussmeier. When he's truly on his game, he's in rhythm, he's just operating within the offense. I think you've seen that over the course of his career. So if you've seen it before, there's a good chance you're able to tap into that again for his professional career.
One more guy I got to ask about. Of course, Saints fans are seeing this name pop up on the 8 line a ton. It's Jeremiah Love. You talked a bit ago about maybe positional value in the top 10. We talked about safety or linebacker. Running back is certainly one that's uncommon to see there. How do you feel about Love potentially being a top 10 pick and maybe landing with the Saints at 8?
I love it simply because you have a young quarterback there that would benefit by having a player of his caliber share the backfield with him. He's got a little bit more of an upright running style, but somebody that if he sees daylight, he can take it the distance. He's exceptional catching the ball out of the backfield. He can stand in pass protection and offer that, protection for Tyler Shucks. So I think to have a playmaker like that would certainly be an asset to a young quarterback early in his career. Similar situation that we've, seen with some others around the league. One of the first things you want to do when you install one of those young quarterbacks is be able to give him the type of, supportive cast that's going to allow him to find success. And I think if you're to give him a Jeremiah Love, maybe it's at the detriment of your defense, but long term, being able to support that player if it plays out the way that you hope, I think that's way more valuable than potentially using that 8 pick on the defense.
What is the most ridiculous thing you see annually at the Combine?
The most ridiculous thing that I see at the Combine. Good question. I mean, some of the questions you hear, I don't want to name any specific names, but there's definitely been some questions geared towards a controversial player in the NFL, Shadur Sanders. Some coaches on the stand getting asked questions that were indirectly trying to get head coaches moving in that direction. I would just say in general, some of the questions you get from some of the people that are assembled and getting in front of head coaches is probably the most interesting thing and confusing thing to me at times.
I understand. We've got to be a little tactful there. I can understand tap dancing around it a little bit. Josh, always fun, good stuff. Thanks for squeezing us in while you're up there in Indy, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
All right, be well. Make sure you follow Josh. He's at Edwards CBS. He's up there in Indy at the Combine, so make sure you follow his content. Again, Josh is the first guy we saw that mocked Sonny Styles, the linebacker, to the Saints at 8, and you're starting to see that a little bit more. But by the way, I'd be good with that. My whole thing. I just don't want Jeremiah Love at 8. It's not a Jeremiah Love thing. I don't want a running back at 8. So find me some other positional value there. We'll see what the Saints do. But big week with the Combine. Hey, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Again, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Man, I love telling you about all the great ways that First South Farm Credit gives back. And look, they're such a huge part of FFA, Future Farmers of America, and or of course now just FFA. But that's actually today, and so it's National FFA Week, and in the state of Alabama they're celebrating that. I mention Alabama because while First South Farm Credit is rooted here in Louisiana, they've got branches in Mississippi and Alabama as well, and they can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to buy that hunt property in Texas or Arkansas or Mississippi, or you want to buy that 1,000 acres in Montana. Our friends at First South Farm Credit can help you do it. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Taylor will be here in about 15 minutes for Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. We have been talking a good bit about some of the free agent interior offensive linemen that New Orleans could target. And there's another one that we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about Wyatt Teller from Cleveland. Cleveland's losing 5 starting offensive linemen to free agency this year, including Ethan Posick, by the way, former Tiger. I got to see a couple of weeks back over at Supper Club. He was in town. He's rehabbing from the torn Achilles, but you're really pulling for Posick. But anyway, we're going to talk about Wyatt Teller. We'll do that in about 30 minutes. Could that be a potential option for New Orleans on the offensive line and free agency? We'll get to that in a bit. Let me knock out a break, come back, go around the SEC on AFR.
After Further Review.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Thinking about selling your home? You need to call Darren James. I mean, why in the world would you call anyone other than the realtor that quite literally sells more homes than anyone? Go to agent225.com, agent225.com for Darren James. One more time, agent225.com. I love sharing the stats because the numbers don't lie. Darren James on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. That's based on the number of homes closed. Like, that's not arbitrary. That is, how many times do you get to the closing table and get a deal done. Darren James, top 1% in America. So if you need to sell your home, you need the realtor that quite literally sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm glad you're rolling with us here. Talk some booze with Taylor Calandro in just a few minutes. Email us, tweet us, or text your question, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways that you can get your questions in for Taylor. We'll get to that here in just a minute. By the way, thanks to everybody who participated in the S&P Rare Whiskey Raffle a day ago. Because of your generosity in buying tickets, which we told you about and promoted, raised over $12,000 for Brass Strong and, of course, St. Lillian Academy, which I've been able to tell you about. It's the special needs school here in Baton Rouge where my son Drew attends, and an amazing community that does such wonderful work for families with special needs kiddos like ours, and helps them really grow and develop into the best versions of themselves, whatever that may look like. It gives a lot of families hope. So thank you sincerely to everybody who participated. Shout out to Jason Nay and my friends over at Fred's and Tigerland and KP and the fellas over at S&P Food Store. We appreciate them greatly for involving us. All right, it's after further review. By the way, Ross Dellinger has a big piece up on this. I think you probably find it everywhere now, but the NCAA has sent a memo to athletic departments basically vowing that there will be significant penalties trying to prevent tampering if you're found guilty of wrongdoing. This obviously came to light when Dabo Swinney had the receipts, Pete Golding, Austin Thomas, and Ole Miss. I'm not in any way sitting here suggesting that Ole Miss is a single offender here. I think basically this is something that's happening universally. Yes, I think LSU is tampered. I think everyone has. In the same way that in a different era, everyone was paying players under the table. Just a matter of who got caught and how punitive, would the NCAA be and the infractions committee, and was it worth the risk and all that stuff? I guess we're probably going to find out the same thing here with tampering, what those penalties may look like if, in fact, you're caught violating those policies. So it's a new age where the NCAA has basically been hands off because they just haven't had any real enforcement leverage. Every time they try to enforce some type of penalty, they get taken to court, or enforce a rule, they get taken to court. So would this stand the same way? I don't know, but it's one worth watching because the NCAA is trying to flex a little muscle and saying, stop doing this or else what? We may find out, but it's just the next layer of this conversation. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We are brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. I'm not sure if you saw this, but Our Lady of the Lake recently has posted photos of Whit Weeks and Landry Kiffin visiting the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. Such a cool thing they're doing. They partner with a group where they go and decorate children's rooms at the children's hospital. It's called Once Upon a Room. Is the name of the organization, and it's so awesome. So I mean, hat tip to Landry and to Lane and to Whit for doing an amazing thing for kiddos who are going through a really tough time in the children's hospital. I mean, I could tell you from a personal standpoint, we and a lot of you have a similar shared experience. I can remember, we spent 9 months in the hospital with Drew, and there were even times where after we had been discharged, we had to go back, and we had lengthy stays. And there are so many organizations like that give back to try to make the hospital stay for families and kiddos more enjoyable, more manageable, and it really sincerely matters. So hat tip to Landry and to Whit and to Lane, to everybody at Once Upon a Room for doing an awesome thing, and of course partnering with Our Lady of the Lake there at the Children's Hospital. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website if you want to learn more about the Championship Health Partnership. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Linebacker Owen Heineke has been denied an extra year of eligibility by the NCAA. Initial petition was denied on January 30th. He appealed, and his appeal has now been denied by the NCAA as well. Unclear if Heineke is going to take legal action against the NCAA, which clearly has been met with some mixed results.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas added a tight end late to the 2026 roster. Braylon Gilbert from Georgia State has signed with the Razorbacks, 6'4", 235. He's a redshirt freshman, so he'll have 3 years of eligibility in Fayetteville. He's a walk-on, by the way, so he'll be a preferred walk-on addition coming over from Georgia State. Did not record any statistics this past season.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Oklahoma State transfer defensive back Jalen Davies has committed to Vanderbilt via the portal. Pete Nakos had it first. Played for Oregon, UCLA, and then Oklahoma State. So this will be his fourth school at the collegiate level going to Vandy. He was a 3-star prospect in the portal, number 653 overall.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Nate Oates has addressed potential NBA interest as he's gone to the Final Four and Elite Eight in back-to-back years, trying to do the same thing now. There's a lot of talk about Nate Oates potentially going to the NBA, as we kind of hear from time to time. Well, it was on SiriusXM. Oates said there's still a lot of boxes he wants to check at Alabama before he moves on. Said his family's another factor, is that the tough travel schedule of the NBA may not relate to raising his 3 daughters. So Oates, for now anyway, seems like he is sticking there at Alabama.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And Brian O'Connor has given an update on pitcher William Kirks' injury. Left in the second inning against Austin Peay Tuesday night with an apparent leg injury. Kirk's coming off a season at Virginia where he's a lefty. We missed the entire year after tearing his ACL on his left knee in the preseason. So Tuesday's injury came on the right leg, but O'Connor not sure after the game. Kirk's pitched 5 2/3 innings, given up 4 runs on 6 hits. 3 of them earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 5. As we learn more, we'll keep you posted. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC Hump Day edition, brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. It's funny, we talk, yes, Goodwood does ED treatments. It's part of what they do. But it's only a part of what they do. So if you have ED, yes, they can help you at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. But it's so much more than that, y'all. Hormone replacement therapy for men and for women. Peptides could potentially change your life, quite literally. If you live in pain or you're recovering from an injury, BPC 157 could change your life, like it has for me. I inject BPC 157 into my low back every day, and it has been transformative for someone who has lived with chronic back pain for quite literally as long as I can remember. NAD+, another peptide that helps for cellular optimization. It's the fountain of youth. Amazing for energy levels. Learn more at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. And by the way, if you don't live in Baton Rouge, it's fine. You can do telemed visits, and they can ship your medicine anywhere in the country. So learn more at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Okay, it's after further review, our final break of hour number 1. We'll come back, do a little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandra, get your booze questions in. Then about 15 minutes coming up after SportsCenter. I want to talk about Wyatt Teller, offensive guard from the Cleveland Browns. He's leaving Cleveland. Could he be a target for the New Orleans Saints? We'll dig in a little deeper there in about 15 minutes from right now. Dari Noka in 45 minutes. Ton to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
After further review.
What are you waiting on? Man, I sit here every day. And I tell you about Duplessis Builders. And you sit on the fence. Should I call? Man, the pool sounds great. Scone makes it sound so luxurious and palatial. It is, by the way. I'll never own a home again without a pool. I just can't imagine living through the 6 months that we have here every year of oppressive heat without being able to go into my backyard and get in a pool. For exercise, for relaxation, for parties, it's amazing. Duplessis Builders makes this happen, and you may think I can't afford it, or maybe you think, well, who could do my giant, gorgeous resort-style luxury pool? Duplessis can do all of it, and they want to do all of it. But you got to start by giving them a call. You start at the website, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. You can pick out your pool and your finishes all at the website right now. It's duplessisbuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
Taylor, what up, dude?
Hey, man, how are you?
Doing awesome. I got a question right out the chute from someone that said, is that new Willet, this is from Alex, that new Willet Purple Top restocking soon? I don't know if have we talked about that yet? It's a more like...
it's a 4-year.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked about it like a month ago.
Okay, because someone sent me a photo of it. They were somewhere in it was in a different state, and they sent me a photo of it, and I was like, man, I hadn't heard of that. I can't remember. I didn't know we talked about that. So why don't you give the rundown again on that?
I talked about it. It's a 4-year, and it's a standard shelf release. And if people aren't familiar with the Purple Top Willets, in the past they've been it's just been like single barrel selects. And the Purple Top is their bourbon. You see their rye a lot. The Purple Top's always been more sought after, but this is like a everyday release for them now.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how much it was, but in the $80 range, I think. I'm trying to find a picture. I just can't remember how much it was. Anyway, but yeah, it's supposed to be an everyday release. I don't know if we have any on the shelf currently, but we did as of last week.
Okay.
It's supposed to be available though.
All right.
So,
what's new?
We got a new Jack release today. Jack Heritage Barrel Toasted Barrel.
Okay.
100 proof. It's 100 proof. I tried it a couple weeks ago. It is absolutely fantastic. And I talk about Jack special releases a lot when we do this. I just think they're stellar generally. Yep. And this one is awesome. And it's available on the shelf, too. I don't know how readily available it's going to be, but we have it. I think it's $80. So it's $80, 100 proof, Jack special release. It's very good. If you see one anywhere, buy it.
I love toasted barrel whiskey, just generally speaking. And the Jack's Heritage, that's the sort of like gold label Jack bottle. Is that right?
It's got a blue label, blue with gold on it.
Right. The gold trim on the blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Fantastic. It's really good. And it's a 100 proofer. It's not. It doesn't really bite you too hard, but it does have some bite. So, it's a really good approachable whiskey. If you see one, grab one wherever you are. We're getting some Parish Brain Cake tomorrow, which is one of their annual special releases. It's one of my favorite beers that they do. It's a double IPA. It's got a lot of wheat in it, like Cane Break. It's really good. I'm trying to think what else. We have some Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon, too, which is very expensive, but it's good. It's their special release they do every year.
Yeah, Garrison Brothers.
$250.
Yeah, Garrison Brothers. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, you're not a fan. But the Cowboy Bourbon, if I had to drink Garrison Brothers, the Cowboy Bourbon is definitely what I would drink. Obviously, it's $250.
Garrison Brothers is the definition, is like the poster child of the whiskey that I talk about all the time when I say just because something's good doesn't mean it's expensive, and just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's good. Like
fair.
That is just so ridiculously priced. I would never encourage anybody to drink Garrison Brothers.
It's very high. But all their stuff in general is pretty high.
That's my point. It ain't good enough to be that high.
No. I know, and it's young. But the Cowboy Bourbon is a good drink. Like I don't know if you've ever had it. It is fantastic. It's really good. Now, is it $250 good? I don't think so.
That's the point.
But if you see it at a bar for a reasonable price, get a pour. It is fantastic.
Okay.
It's a good pour.
You know what I did have?
It's high proof, but I mean it's a good pour.
I'm gonna get some questions here in a second, but you know what I did have a couple weeks back? I had the E.H. Taylor B-Tac.
Did you? I haven't had it.
I was at Supper Club, and they had a bottle, and I literally got the last pour of it, and it was outstanding. It's a lower proof, Taylor. I think it's 90 proof. It's a lower proof, but man, it is full-bodied, robust, and awesome. I mean, I get it. They did an outstanding job with it. Really good.
Even at 90 proof, I think that's the thing that threw me off about that.
It is 90, right? I'm not mistaken on that, right? It is a lower.
I'm not sure because we haven't gotten it yet. I can't remember what the proof was.
Okay.
I'm just not super familiar with it because we haven't handled it yet. But I think when I originally saw the release, that proof threw me off.
Yeah.
And I think that threw some people off. But if it's good, it's good.
Let's see. We got like 30 seconds real quick. Ask Taylor, I'm getting more into rye and weeded whiskey. What's some brands I should look at? That's from Cole.
Willet. I love Willet Rye. As we were talking about it earlier. Also, I love Knob Creek Rye. That's a really good standard rye, too.
You got Mardi Gras Bach. Someone asked about the beer.
Yes, we should. Yeah, we'll have a little bit left.
Right there on Government Street. Go see our friends over at Calandra's. Go yell at Taylor. Tell him Garrison Brothers is overpriced. We got to go. We'll see you. Thank you.
See you, man.
All right.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO. Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco.com. What is it? Arco.com. For Arco Power Systems. And what an awesome business. And it's really impressive whenever you go and you talk to the folks over at Arco and you realize, like, really they shine during disasters because they're working 24/7 and they're the backbone that supports the region when people are going through a storm. They've literally had Blackhawks and the National Guard pick up their workers to deploy them to sites to get some of this portable generator power to get some of these facilities back on. And we're talking about sometimes essential facilities, hospitals and grocery stores and gas stations, and then banks and schools, industrial facilities. It's Arco Power Systems. Y'all, everything's turnkey. So we're talking about Generac standby generator power for your business, your commercial or industrial facility. It's Arco Power Systems, arco.com.